This is very scary. This is in China. These are people in hazmat suits, and this is how they're quarantining people in China right now. I don't know if you've seen this. Here we have a truck. Here we have a truck by the government with what appears to be a large cube. This is what they're using supposedly to transport people to like quarantine areas. Okay. This is oh no, it looks like the girl has climbed into there who was at the tree. We're gonna talk about how they're literally welding people shut in their apartments as well. But let's watch what happens now.
Wow. 太可怕了。
我被喜欢抓进去。
可是他们生病了。
所以他们要去哪里？
Okay, then we hear screaming from the cube. Now this part's a little concerning to me. Like my imagination runs wild, and the conspiracy theorist in me says that something happens inside this cube once they're inside it, but I don't think so. I think this girl that they get put in this cube is just going batshit crazy because she realizes now that she's in a cube. That's the way of China, and being a Chinese civilian, you listen to your government or else, and you be a good little citizen. She's in the cube now, isolated from everybody, wondering, how did I get myself in here? I don't think there's any death ray inside. I don't think there's any spray inside. I don't think there's anything going on inside this cube other than the fact that she is in a cube, isolated by the government in the back of a pickup truck. This is why I love being American. You will never see this in America. I don't think I'd ever see this in America, where the government comes in a pickup truck with a cube and shoves people in to go to like a quarantine area. Now the quarantine areas, will show you that too. This is getting a little bit ridiculous here. She's screaming. There's just a bus casually going by. This is how scary this is getting, man. This is like something out of Resident Evil. So here we have a gentleman who's getting welded into his apartment. They literally are welding a man into his apartment. They're not telling him anything else than we're welding you in this apartment. Let's watch this. I will not interrupt.
临时管制进行硬隔离。完毕，请你们配合。
我们是在配合呀，对，配合就行了。那你这个具体的讲一下，你这个硬隔离是要做什么措施？
现在硬隔离，你先讲。
We are your local government authorities, and we are telling you that we are welding your door shut. Any questions? No? Great. Now that that's all sorted, we're leaving you welded into your apartment.
锁门啊，不给你出来。
那我从里面是否就打不开，在逃生的情况下？
这个我也这个温馨提示一下。
The guy's legit being very rational. For a man who's getting welded shut into his apartment, he's asking very rational questions. This guy on the government end of things is being very irrational. All right. So this is how China is treating the coronavirus. This is about the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life. This is going to blow up in China. The virus will literally blow up like this. The quarantine centers, they're putting people that they suspect have the coronavirus with people that have the coronavirus. They're not even separating them. They're not doing testing on them to see which ones have the coronavirus and which ones don't. They're literally lumping them all together if they just suspect them in these quarantine areas. They build these places in days. We'll show you that as well. But here we go. Let's continue. Let's see how the government's going to help this man being welded into his apartment. They literally weld the door shut.
在家里要做好个人的安全防护。
Oh, thanks.
安全用火，安全用电，如果有突发情况，自己处理不了，及时跟联系人告知战友。
我想问一下啊，领导，你们有人负责啊？多长时间能到岗？比如说你从门岗到这儿，几分钟能到？
你这个表就我们处置。 除了你们自己承担责任以外，你们责任以外的由我们政府承担，
不是吧？你告诉我多长时间反应嘛？比如说我家正法着火了，煤气漏了，煤气爆炸了，我打120，120到楼下来了，人下不出去。
这个我们都会。
Now the man's getting a little bit upset.
你能？
这个我这个答不出来，怎么答出来呢？以最快速度，以最快速度。
尽快
Let's just say He says, let's just say we'll get here as soon as possible. I'll lock you up. We don't really have the answers, but let's just call it a day and say I'm going to get there as soon as possible.
1天2天3天，
你这个没法说，好吧？
不是，
现在
你尽快用时效嘛。
This guy's being
我
unreasonable.
们履行公务，请你们配合。
我们已
房
经一直在
东是所有
配合。
的，如果不配合的，要追究刑事责任的。好，
那我们先说一下我们的原因啊。你说完了，总归我们要交个言吧。2点，第一点。
If there's one good thing that's going to happen out of all this, the Chinese people are going to see how the government are treating them, and there's going to be a revolt like you won't believe. If we see ourselves through this as a species, and it's going to get serious. I'm going to show you guys some numbers that perhaps were leaked by Tencent. I'm going to show you that as well on the coronavirus. But if we get through this as a species, and the Chinese people do as well, the only good thing that can come from this is that the Chinese people finally see exactly what the Communist Party is about and how they're treating the situation and stand up and revolt against this crazy, crazy regime that has been dictating them for years. Not since Tiananmen Square have the Chinese really stood up and revolted against their government. Hopefully, this virus will make them look at the way the government is treating them, and they say to themselves, hey, you know, I'm a little bit upset on how you're handling the situation between locking us or welding us in our apartments and putting us inside of Chinese death cubes. Perhaps I'm a little bit upset. And perhaps the government will finally, or the people will finally stand up to the government. This is just
杭州市规定就是说不配合居家隔离，对吧？有
我先
一次，
问你，你配合不配合？
我是在配合，我没有出来。
来，
第二，
好了，
等一下，
哎，
好了。
我要打电话投诉12345，已经不让你们装了。
This is not the way you deal with a situation like this. You know, Chief Gaw is saying it's extreme, but it's quarantine, and I understand that. We're dealing with a virus that's killing people, and I get it. But this is not the manner in which you do it. This is terrible. Locking people inside without any plan on how to help these people after the fact that you've literally welded them in, shut in to their own place. These quarantine facilities are absolutely horrible. There's no science behind it whatsoever. They're not checking people once they get in. They're not separating the healthy from the unhealthy. They're just throwing people in. And there's you can just start to look this stuff up. You can see footage. There was a gentleman here in Time magazine. You can see a Chinese vlogger here detailing his life and possibly death. They're not even sure. And let's watch a little bit of this gentleman here, who I consider a hero. He's like, I'm gonna go ahead and film this whole thing as it unfolds. And of course, the Chinese government does not like that. So we need to squelch this guy, make this guy disappear. If you're the Chinese government, that's what they did to this guy. Nobody knows where he's at. But let's watch.
真的知道害怕了，因为武汉当地人根本就不去，就是没有不是很担心自己生病的人根本就不去医院。基于我们责任是一个公共汽车，那作为记者出现了灾难，你不敢第一时间知道前线的，算什么记者呢？所以我坐最后一班高铁。
Here's some, and this is just a part of what I've seen. I've actually investigated this enough to know that they're not really testing people. Those that are healthy versus unhealthy. These are the quarantine areas that you see here. The construction you saw about 5 or 10 seconds back was actually the Chinese government erecting these quarantine facilities. They're not even hospitals. They're just lumping people in there. Nobody's getting treated. They're just lumping them in there. People are basically spreading the disease. If you want to talk about a way to actually ignite this virus, to make it go completely nuclear, then this is the absolute way to do it. And so he was documenting this, and you know, he's just saying this isn't the way, guys. But you know, the Chinese government got to blanket that.
疑似病例，有的是感染的，有的是没感染的，把他们关在这么一个并不是完全隔绝的空间当中，他们彼此交叉感染的可能性是有的。这个方舱医院的形态明显是很像那种战地医院，或者说是什么水灾啊、地震啊之类的临时避难所，但是这并不适合传染病人居住。
Last week, Chen stopped posting. This is an article in Time magazine. On their site where literally this guy just disappeared from the face of the earth. Probably dead. That's speculation. right, dude? This is straight out of a video game, man. Everything that's happening right now, ridiculous. The Chinese government is more worried about suppressing information than anything else, than actually treating this correctly. And it's scary. Here's something this particular piece of information from the Taiwan news has been shown on a few other YouTube videos. I wanted to go over it here. The cases might have been misreported. This is speculation. They're saying, the initial numbers they're reporting is somewhere around 30,000 people affected. Tencent, which we have covered here on the channel, you can look Tencent up and you can see what I think about Tencent. Possibly accidentally leaked the data on the coronavirus. It's showing here that number in red from left to right are nationally confirmed cases at 154,000. The yellow is suspected cases. So, they're lumping people who are suspected in with those people that are confirmed. So now you literally have 230,000 people in China, 269 people cured, and 25,000 approximately deaths. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to DG in the Jesus, man. It's like, wow. Wow. So I hope, and then the BBC actually reported that there was a sharp increase in deaths the other day, at 242 deaths in a day on Wednesday. And here you can see this, which that chart doesn't look good. The spike in cases, with reporting now 1,370 deaths. So, man, I can't. I just can't keep talking about this, man. So, tell me what you guys think. I'm going to release this on my YouTube channel. Sorry for the depressing news. Nothing about this is good right now. And I've got to move on to the next topic. If you're watching this video, don't worry. We've got many more on the way. Thanks for joining us here on our YouTube channel on a video. Thank you to the family who is typing over here on our stream. We're going to continue our stream and have a good day. Don't forget to check out our full entire DG in the Morning podcast, I guess, because this is what I'm going to start doing more often, where we just chill out. You can check it out in our YouTube channel as well. And I'm streaming on YouTube, having a great time. See you on the next vid. Today's video has been brought to you by the generous patrons of DG360 who make continued content possible. DG360 patrons enjoy monthly giveaways like Star Citizen packages, Steam gift cards, and any game that you want giveaways. Please consider donating $1 if in any way you enjoy DG360 content. And these difficult times where independent content creation is under attack from the FTC and left to die by YouTube, it's nice to know that I'm appreciated. Thank you.